for them to play in the background as you was over there crying, and I was like, is he gonna be all right over there? Are you the skit on it's chronic, man? Are you dying over there? Are you dying over there? I was like,
I had to get one of the kids' snacks.
yeah, man, it was getting and I'm not one to talk. I'm not one to talk because I understand, to be out of the playoffs because we've already been out, but you lose your coach,
Yeah.
Get a microphone in here. Are we rocking and rolling? Are we on the air? Are we on the air? Are we on the air?
We in the air.
We are in the air. And I want to thank you all for joining us on Airlines. Please make sure that anyone sitting in the safety seats by the doors, you do realize that you will be helping if there are any safety hazards that happen. Please pay attention to all of your flight attendants up front. We will not be serving food on this flight unless you're first class. But nevertheless, welcome to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this, what is let me get my date right, January 13th, 2026 edition of the No Jazz Show. That stands for Not Just Another Sports Show, for those of you who haven't are joining us for the first time that don't know that. And you can catch us. Make sure you subscribe, watch, like, share, and tell all your friends about us, whether it's on YouTube, where you can find us at No Jazz Show, on Instagram at THE No Jazz Show, on X, TikTok, Twitch, and our Facebook pages, No Jazz Show, NoJASSSHOW. You can find us live on my personal page, DUPONTNIVEKZ, and then you can find us live on what will be my partner in crime, and we're going to get to him, Russell Tanker's page, and also the locker room. And you can join us live on our page at No Jazz Show. Now, without further ado, I know you all see this man to my right, sometimes your left. He is definitely my co-pilot or the pilot, or sometimes when we're just letting this thing just do what it wants to, autopilot. But it does take us to make this show run, and this show doesn't run without my main man, Tank. So, Tank, tell the people what's up and how they're doing.
What's up? How y'all doing? Me, not so well right now, but hey, nevertheless, glad to be here. Glad to get some things. Got a lot of stuff to discuss. Also have some things I got to get off my chest, but hey, let's get on into it.
It's going to be a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of things getting off people's chests. And I will tell you this, and I'm going to say this up front. I hate the sound the way wait, before I get into that, we do want to acknowledge the people that pay the bills around here. And I got the name wrong with the hair, so I'm going to start out with them first. For all of your hair needs, make sure you go to Gazillion Brazilian Hair for all of your hair bundles. It's Gazillion. You know what I mean? Like I guess that's the strands. I don't know. But Gazillion Brazilian bundles. And for all of your food needs, whether that be ordering food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, make sure you order from LYTESNACK, lightsnack.com. And and that's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for all of your home food delivery needs. And make sure when you're ordering those food deliveries, you order those Magic City wings on lightsnack.com. And remember their motto, don't forget to lick the sauce. And also, while you're licking sauce, make sure you visit QUIKVISITS.com for all your lingerie needs and loungewear needs for all the ladies. That month is coming up. It's going to be big promo going on in February for the Valentine's Day for QuickVisits.com. So make sure you do all of that. Now, I do want to jump right into this. And I don't know if you saw my post, if you follow me on Facebook, but I did a post that said 2 down, 2 to go. Oh, yeah. Around playoff time, when we're not in the playoffs, and if you don't know this by now, I am a Cowboys fan. We look for some people to lose. It's nothing personal. It's just business. And I'm starting out by saying 2 down, 2 to go. If you know, you know. Those 4 are the New England Patriots, the San Francisco 49ers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I want to separate something right quick. Philadelphia Eagles, of course, just if it was Washington, they'll be in there too. Our hated rival that tends to believe that they're better than the Cowboys because they've won 2 in 30 years and all that stuff. So we hate to see them do what they're doing. We don't want them in there. That's just what it is. Now, when you get to the big boys, the big boys is San Fran, Pittsburgh, and New England. The big boys is Pittsburgh sitting on 6, New England sitting on 6 Super Bowls. San Fran has 5. So when we see Pittsburgh leave, it's a joy. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the joy that the 72 Dolphins feel when the final team loses in the season, and they've been, the final perfect team in a sense, or undefeated team loses in the season. So that's that feeling. So like I said, 2 down and 2 to go. Now, we're going to jump right into it. And I think he's going to segue into the game and what happened in the game. But the biggest news today that I'm going to start with is Mike Tomlin, if you've been sleeping under a rock, a head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last 19 years, one of 3, and we discuss this all the time, one of 3 coaches in a lot of our lifetimes that have only been coaches for the Pittsburgh Steelers stepped down today. And for the first time in 20 years or 19 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be on an off-season search for a new head coach. And I'm going to switch this over to Tank because I believe he has some words on why Mike Tomlin got to the facility at 6 a.m. in the morning, as they say, and it looked like a graveyard, and it just didn't have that same feeling it did. And he made his announcement, and Aaron Rodgers was giving out autographed jerseys to Mike Tomlin as a going-away present to say, it's been good, man. We had a heck of a run, and I hope to see you soon. So, Tank, tell us why all of this possibly happened today, or what you feel about it.
I think that it happened less than 24 hours after the last night's loss. That tells me, and he's not an emotionally charged coach as far as his decision making. So I believe this is something that's been weighing on him for a while, and he'd already come to the conclusion that, hey, more than likely I'm going to step down, whenever our season ends. He was hoping that it would end in a championship or a deep playoff run, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But I do believe that he already had talked about it, had considered it, and probably talked it over with his family, with his wife. Said, I think it's time for me to step down, at least for a while, from coaching. And he's going to take a year or 2 off to recharge his batteries or look, because at this point right now, if he wanted to, he'll have his choice of whatever job of the 9 jobs, 8 jobs, 9 not including 8 jobs, not including Pittsburgh.
You think so?
So I think he is now the hot commodity out there. It was Harbaugh, who all 7 teams had already called and inquired about him. I think Tomlin is now the one that everybody's will be willing to reach out for, and then you're going to talk to him. But I think that, I tell you, this is hard for me. We've had 3 coaches in my lifetime. I've been a fan since I was 5. So since 1975, I've known Chuck Noll, I've known Bill Cowher, and I've known Mike Tomlin. And the tendency for these 3 coaches, they were all hired in their 30s. They were all former defensive-minded coaches. They were coordinators. Tomlin was the Vikings coordinator. Cowher was the Chiefs. He was the special teams or the defensive coordinator. I can't remember. And Chuck Noll had also been a defensive coordinator and defensive coach with the Baltimore Colts. And he was the coach on the sideline when they lost to the New York Jets in Super Bowl III. So they were all in their 30s. They were all young or among the youngest to get to be head coaches in the league at that time. And now they all stepped down. Bill Cowher stepped down at the age of 49, but he done 15 years. Tomlin is 53 and has done 19.
Did Bill Cowher after a championship?
A year after the championship.
Year after the championship.
They went 8-8, and he stepped down. Now, Chuck Noll stepped down after 23 years. He was 59. So what's happened with those three coaches, they were all hired in their 30s and all were in their 50s when they stepped down. I mean 49 for Cowell, but basically might as well say 50. So I expect that they're going to go and get another coach, possibly defensive or offensive, or I hope offensive minded, to take his place. And this is what I have to say to Steeler Nation, particularly the ones who wanted him gone. Yes, I know things weren't going great as far as, but we overachieved again this year because everyone had us predicted to finish third in the division, if not last. Instead, we won the division. We hosted the home playoff game, and we really had no true weapons, and we were handicapped by the offensive and defensive coordinator. They don't know what the hell they're doing. But I'm going to say this, and then we can get into the game. Remember this. Most of you who wanted him gone don't recall how bad and mediocre the Steelers were in the 80s when they made the playoffs only 4 times in 10 years. Some of you don't remember the back-to-back losing seasons with Bill Cowher, and there was talk about maybe it's time for him to go. Or 2004, 2003, when we were 6-10. And to go even further back, a lot of folks don't remember before 1972, Steelers weren't winning jack. No playoff appearances or anything like that. So being spoiled is one thing. Being used to it is one thing. But getting to the point where you're entitled and just feel like, hey, if we don't win it all, hey, you're a bad coach. No, Tomlin didn't forget how to coach. He went out the quarterback in the first round. The only quarterback who was drafted in one of 2 quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken, who was drafted that year. And he got Kenny Pickett because he was a top-rated quarterback. So he's tried to develop. He went into the draft to get a quarterback. Went into the draft and get a feature back in Najee, and Najee was pedestrian. Pickett wasn't even pedestrian. Devin Bush was one of the top-rated linebackers coming out. He had a good rookie season. After that, he didn't think that he needed to tackle anybody anymore. There's other players who've all been drafted just the first round picks in the past 10 years who were highly rated coming out of college. And we always say film don't lie. But in this case, film lied on all of them. They didn't produce for what we saw on the field in college. With the eye in the sky doesn't lie, but it didn't translate to the NFL. That's not a coaching problem. That player just didn't have it. Hey, y'all I hope y'all are buckled in because this is a complete rebuild that's going to need to happen. So get used to 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 wins by year 3. And then by year 4, really be in a position to do something because this is not a quick fix. This is not a quick fix unless Omar Khan opens up the book, the wallet, and pays out top dollars to every free agent that's out there who's going to really be able to come in and fill a need that we have and then go into the draft. So, yeah, it was sad that this hit me when Cowher stepped down. It didn't really bother me because I was like, okay, he got his ring, went 8-8. He wants to go on and do something else. It didn't make me say, man, this is earth shattering. When Chuck Noll stepped down, it was like, hey, he's been here 23 years. He's done what he needed to do. He got the four titles, but with Tomlin stepping down like this, it hits different for whatever reason. I don't know. It feels different. Now, as far as the game last night, I don't know what the hell Smith was doing. He started off running the ball and was effective. Next thing you know, we aren't running. We're throwing that same old stupid. Let's throw a lateral to the receiver 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and see if he can run. Frymuth has been open all year long down the seam, yet we didn't call his number to the fourth quarter. 11 minutes and 42 seconds into the fourth quarter. Metcalf, for whatever reason, I don't know if Rodgers deliberately froze him out after he dropped that pass in the first half, or if Smith decided to, hey, we're not going to go to him anymore. But it was awful. The defense was doing his job for 3 quarters. But if your offense isn't producing and you giving them the ball back 3 additional times and you got 3 points, hey, the fourth quarter defense was tired and the defense had given up. And Austin didn't put together a game plan. For whatever reason, he must have told them, hey, let's not worry about stopping the run, because they didn't stop it. It was ugly. I mean, it was ugly. They hung in there for 3 quarters, but after that, the floodgates opened, and that Houston defense, they took over the game. But I can't put that on solely on Tomlin, because your coordinators have to do their job. They have to coordinate, and they didn't coordinate a damn thing last night. But it was terrible. I mean, it was gut wrenching, man. It was. If you didn't know any better, you wouldn't have thought it was a playoff game, because one team came out there, did their job, and Stroud did his best to give us the game, and the offense couldn't. There was no spark whatsoever. And man, everything that I've been saying was wrong with the offense showed his ugly head last night. And I put that on Smith, since he's the OC, and I also put some blame on Tomlin because he should have overrode something. But at the same time, when you got no real weapons on offense, what can you do? Because those running backs are pedestrian. Nobody in their right mind would go into the season with either one of them as your feature back and say, well, our running game's going to be fine, because it's not. Only receiver we have, DK. The other receivers we have, they're all Jags. Just a guy. I'm gonna get emotional over here. I'm trying to stay calm, but man,
tell you something, man.
It was terrible.
I was over here asking the producers, because I was looking for some violins and mandolins for them to play in the background as you was over there crying, and I was like, is he gonna be all right over there? Are you the skit on it's chronic, man? Are you dying over there? Are you dying over there? I was like,
I had to get one of the kids' snacks.
yeah, man, it was getting, and I'm not one to talk. Because I understand, to be out of the playoff, because we've already been out, but you lose your coach.
Yeah, it's like back to back. It's like first it's like that's a little dark, so I'm not gonna say it. Let's just say you lose the 2 most important people in your life on back to back days. That's
Right.
kind of how I feel.
Right.
I mean, I was like, when I got the news at work today, I was like, how about 7 or 8 of the dudes in my office came by to inform me of what happened and asked me if I was okay.
And 30 to 6
I got
don't
texts.
30 to 6 don't help.
Yeah, and granted, you can't do it, but 14 of those points came because the offense turned the ball over. Right. But you can't do that because it's still 30 to 6.
30 to 6. But, now I want to ask you a question, because I was allowing you to have your moment. And you stated something, right? You stated something. And here at No Jazz Show, what we try to do is we just try to look at sports from a different perspective. And there are times our ideologies may clash, and this might be one of those times. But I just want to ask him, I do agree Mike is a young 52, 53.
Mm-hmm.
Can get back in the game anytime between 55 and 60, 55 and 65, and won't be a old coach, depending upon the way things are moving and trending.
I'd say if he's not back in 3 years, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap, right? Because the trends can come in. I'm going to disagree, and this is why. Not Mike personally. Not Mike personally. I'm going to disagree with one of the hottest coaches, just like I disagree with Harbaugh being one of the hottest coaches. Because I believe the reason is everything you said. And I believe it's not them personally, we're looking at this trend and we got to get out of it. And what I mean by that is the AFC North itself. Let me tell you what the AFC North has done to itself. The AFC North is allowing what Cleveland isn't they're using it as a benchmark to excuse themselves for 10-win seasons. When was the last time you all won a playoff game? 2016. That's 9 years. And this ain't on Mike T. This ain't on Mike T. You know what I'm saying? But you got to motivate players. So what I'm saying is when you look at that, it's almost like you all are using the 3 teams in the AFC North are using, but we're not Cleveland to excuse a lot of things. I believe they have been, but we're not Cleveland since Cowher, the Cowher era, because I believe it was Cleveland. I believe it was Cleveland and the time that Bill Walsh was in Cincinnati making changes when you start looking at Chuck Noll a little differently and say, hey, has football kind of passed us by as we move into the 80s? I think the Cincinnati Bengals made it to a Super Bowl. Cleveland and Bernie Kosar, they were just kind of getting kicked out of it a little bit. I'm trying to remember who else was in the what would have been the AFC
it was
at that time.
and the Oilers. It was the AFC Central. It was the Oilers, the Steelers, the Bengals,
And the
and the
Oilers.
Browns.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe their successes is probably had the Rooneys looking like, we used to have this. What are we doing over here? And we can't go back that far because we're doing it in hindsight. But I bet if you start looking at that and you start looking at the wow, or as they say, the writing being on the wall for a lot of coaches or Chuck Noll at that time, it started looking like, hey man, I'm tired of doing this. Hey, but they're doing this, they're doing that. Come on, what happened to us? I believe he was going through that. Now Cowher was kind of sitting in the driver's seat a little bit using Cleveland's not doing anything benchmark. And he was just sitting on a whole lot of nothing. Cowher only has one Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah. Two appearances, one win.
2 appearances,
But
1 win.
Also the litmus test for the Steelers, for the Rooneys, has always been, if things got dark, does the team still follow the coach? Has the coach lost the team? And the answer has always been no. That's why they've kept the coaches, because Chuck Noll was still able to teach, but he said when he retiring, he said, hey, this is a championship team, but I'm just not here, and I'm just not the man to coach it. You brought in Cowher. Cowher got them to a Super Bowl within 5 years, and he continued. He had a couple of losing seasons and got back on the right track. But the key thing for all of them has been they've each had a franchise quarterback to get them a Super Bowl. We haven't had a franchise quarterback since Ben.
That's one. Yeah, you all had a franchise quarterback to get you there, and it made you. And I want you to hold that pen because that's going to kind of fall into another discussion. But I want to get back to the AFC North, because Cincinnati had adopted the Steelers methodology, and they were letting Marvin. When did Marvin?
Yeah, Marvin was there 8 years,
and he was just Marvin was sitting there on 8 and 8s, 9 and 7s. We'll make an appearance, make a run in playoff, but it was like you're never getting over that hump, and you don't have to do much because we're not Cleveland. And then when you look at Harbaugh's record, you say Harbaugh's hot. Harbaugh literally adopted. I don't think he drafted Ed Reed. Did he draft?
Yeah, I think so. I want to say he did.
Okay, but he definitely
he adopted Ray.
He adopted Ray. He adopted Tony. My man on the end, Suggs. He might have drafted him, maybe.
He drafted Suggs.
But they had already won one in 2000. And then when you really look at the order of operation, and you look at what they were doing, they went through a level of mediocrity as well, and a lot of that was getting blamed on Lamar. But when you look at his overall record, he hadn't been there in a while himself, even though they got that little AFC Championship game, 2 seasons ago, last season?
Yeah, a couple seasons ago.
So it's almost like, do you shift the dynamic, and we kind of got to stop with this sitting on these coaches for a while. I mean, it's a good thing to a degree. However, you do see pockets of mediocrity. And when I say mediocrity, I'm not even talking like you see pockets of no divisional playoff game. You're not making it past the wild card weekend. And a lot of teams can say that. And see that, and that's what people in the chat, and that's what people on the internet always say. Well, is your team doing that? No, it's not about that. What it gets down to is when you start doing this, you see these pockets of 9s and 8s. Oh, I won 10. And you start sitting on these 10s, but the 10s don't go anywhere. You're not 13, and then you're not 12. You're not growing. Your league overall tends to start being predictable and mediocre. You know,
Yeah.
and I believe it starts to say, oh, that's why you're not seeing any dynasties anymore because they have free agency and people can just leave when they want to leave. Nah, I don't. I'm starting not to believe that. I'm starting to believe when you start creating these, all we got to win is 10, we good, and then you start hyperbolizing this, and you start making this a great thing because it almost seems like it's a gift and a curse. Yes, it was a great thing to not have a losing season. But did it filter? Did it filter over into, well, all we got to give is Coach Mike T 10, and he won't get fired, and I'll just take the rest off. So you start practicing like you're just gonna get 10, and you start motivating teams like you just need to get 10. And so it's a slippery slope where it comes to that. All we need to get Marvin is his 8, and he's straight.
I think with Cincinnati when they had Marvin, it was because they'd been so bad for so long. They were like, okay, let's give them a shot because we don't want to go back to what we were. And so I think that's what kept Marvin. With Tomlin, it was no quarterback. He got the playoffs with Mason Rudolph, Trubisky, Doug Hodges. It was another one too, but a bunch of not even mediocre quarterbacks. And
your last Super Bowl was 2010, 15 years ago.
Super appearance, yeah. But also the fact that.
But your last win was when?
Win was in 08.
08. Hold on, right quick.
Yeah.
All your food delivery needs. Make sure you go to Light Snack. That's LYTE snack.com. And make sure for all your deliveries, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you visit Light Snack and they'll deliver it right to your door. And make sure when you get those deliveries, make sure you're ordering those Magic City wings. And remember, their motto, don't forget to lick the sauce. 17 years. No, you're not as bad.
Yeah, that's a long time.
No, you're not as bad as Dallas. You're not. You have 6, and you've been sitting on 6 for a long time now, to a certain degree. My question is, how do you look at that? Do you look at that and say, well, New England is the only one sitting on 6 with us. San Francisco hadn't made it up there yet. Dallas hadn't made it up yet. We're straight. All we need to do is get those 10 wins. Are you looking at yourself as a premier franchise in the NFL, and you don't have to do that anymore? See, it tends to become like, how do you see yourself, even when they're first?
I think they still see themselves, okay, the standard is the standard, meaning we need to win the Super Bowl because they don't throw parades in Pittsburgh for division titles. They don't hang up banners. They don't throw parades for AFC championship wins. They only throw parades when you win the Super Bowl. And that's understood by the coaching staff and the players. Hey, you aren't revered. You don't reach that level until you get a ring. Other than that, hey, well, you're a good team, you're good players, but you still didn't do what we want you to do. You didn't do what's most important. Now, I believe that, and we know what's hurt them is the fact that Tomlin always does a good enough job or a better job than expected or with what he's got. So that they never draft high enough. They never draft high, or they're never in a position to draft a franchise guy unless he has a precipitous fall down to the teens or later. So it's hard to get that guy when you're never in a position to draft him. Because to be honest, had we Coward been able to get the team to win instead of going 6-10, had they gone 8-8 or 9-8, 8-8 or 9-7, we wouldn't have gotten Ben either. So
don't pick Ben.
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, it's a gift and a curse when you do it. Because I don't think that they were just trying, all right, let's make sure we don't have a losing season. They were trying to win it all. They went in this year. Hey, they went all in, but you got an OC and a DC who didn't know what they were doing. You got certain players on the defense that weren't holding up their end of the bargain. And you got an offense that was just putrid. It was terrible. And getting rid of Pickens bit them in the butt. We know why they did, but at the same time, had Pickens been there and you had him and DK, Rodgers would have enjoyed throwing to both of them. But, the GM is still under contract for 2 years, just like Tomlin still has 2 years on his deal. So you can't just get rid of them. Well, we can't. I think they should, because the offense and the players that we trotted out there who Khan went and got in free agency, we were the newest version of the Miami Dolphins of the 70s over the hill game that went in the early 70s. We became the oldest team in the league over the offseason because everybody was signed. That's not a formula for winning football.
That's not a formula. All right. So I'm going to say this. Another thing that you need, as I was looking at these dates, and we're going to move to the next subject, you might need those Pittsburgh Pirates and those Pittsburgh Penguins to be winning a little something.
Hell, we need the fish to say Pittsburgh come back.
Well, that's NBA. Well, that would have been basketball, but it's coincidental that when the Penguins or the Pirates are doing something, when the Pirates were good in the 70s, the Steelers were, and then when the Penguins picked it up, the Steelers kind of picked it up when they were making that little championship runs here and there. But neither this Pittsburgh itself as a city has not seen any form of a finals since 2017. So maybe that level of competition will pick things up. Now, moving on to our next subject. Today's hearing on trans women. Okay, hold on.
Trans women.
It's trans women? So it's not transgender talking about both of them. See, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's trans women because you don't hear about men. You don't hear about women. You don't hear about trans. You don't hear about women turning into men. I'm just putting the layman term. Women turning into men, and then saying I want to play a man's sport, playing men's sport.
Right. Okay. You hear about men turning into women who want to play a women's sport. Absolutely. So the hearing today on trans women allowed to compete or not in women's sports. Now, I'm gonna say this, man. There's literally a reason that basketball is smaller. It's a reason. And we ain't gonna change the height of the rim, and we ain't gonna change the circumference radius of the rim. But there's a reason why that basketball is smaller. There's a reason why they play less minutes on all levels, and they play fewer games. I believe in high school, don't get me wrong, Rob, I wish you could get on here and tell me, but I do believe it's, or maybe college, it's college basketball, men's can play 2 halves. Women still play 4 quarters to break it down and keep the game flowing. So I'm saying like as equal as people try to verbalize things and make them feel better about it, the action of the game and the way the game develops is just different from men and women. And there's a reason for that. In order to keep the action of sports, where that becomes, to me, where that becomes unfair is something that still has the genetic makeup of a male deciding I'm going to play a female sport and not act as if they don't have an advantage.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to play with them because I'm bigger and stronger than them. I'm going to go play with them. Because most of the time when they go and play, most of the time they look at those athletes who were born male, you see they weren't even mediocre when they were competing with other men.
Right.
They weren't any good. But they go over there and compete against natural born women and they excel. And I don't care what they say about injections and this, that, and other. If you reach a certain age, that muscle mass, that muscle memory, and all those things you've been doing, it's gonna stay there. I've yet to see a trans woman so small that you look like if someone told you that wasn't a natural born woman, you would be like, for real?
Right.
They still had those things. Let's put it this way. If Shaq had decided, hey, I want to be a female, would people have an issue with Shaquisha playing at LSU, playing high school basketball, playing college basketball?
Absolutely.
But I'm a woman. I've had the work done.
You know what they would have done with Shaquisha? Just like they would have done with Grandma Ma and Joanna Man.
Mm-hmm.
They would have said that she was a woman that was good enough to play with men. She still wouldn't have played with women, Shaquisha. Yeah. They would have said, oh, this is the best woman. Because as a matter of fact, there were some women that they felt were good enough to play with men. They got proven, and say, I hope that never happens. That might be politically incorrect. But if there is ever a Shaquisha and she goes and dominates, they're going to think like, oh, we have the greatest. I think the whole thing is we're just trying to eventually have our own lane.
Yeah, I think if you're trans, they need to, if there's enough of them, they need to have a trans league, because it doesn't make sense. And the example, My son, when he was in high school, he was in the 8th grade. He was playing football, and there was a girl out there who was a sister of one of his teammates, who she ran track, and she was timed as the 3rd fastest girl her age in the state. He was the fastest guy on the team. So she always wanted to race him. So finally, they went on ahead and raced. Same age. You're a certain age, and you're the 3rd fastest in the state at your age. That's a damn good accomplishment. They raced. He smoked about 10 yards because he pulled up. That's the type of advantage that now just imagine he was to say, "Dad, I think I want to be a girl," and we go through that. He's gonna be out there torching these natural born girls because he's just genetically superior in that field. And you costing girls who are putting in the work scholarships because why do I want to get you? You the 5th fastest when I can get the person who's the 1st. Or you didn't finish high enough because this sub-caliber guy decided he wanted to be a girl all of a sudden. I just don't think that it's right. They need to be competing. Now, because if it was the other way around, I don't think anybody have a problem with it because it wouldn't be a threat. But you can't. I'm sorry. I don't care what they say about the injections and all that. There is a difference, especially after a certain age, when you compete a male and a female, a natural born male against a natural born female. The only ones that are going to wind up losing are going to be those who winning are going to be the ones who are freakish and superior.
The girl,
superior athletes.
the women, right.
Yeah. Not your average one, because most of the athletes in high school are average or sub-average or below average, regardless, male or female. But you got a few specimens. And if it's no contest. I remember when I was in high school, we had this girl, her name was Faye. I can't remember her last name. But she was thick. I mean, and she had some weight on her, but she was thick and shapely. And there was the rumor going around that she was talking about and had talked with the coaches. They were doing all that. She was going to come out for the football team. It was a big buzz, and it was like, man, what are we going to do if she come out here? And somebody asked me, well, I said, well, she come out here, I'm going to hit her just like I hit anybody else. If she survives, she survives. If she doesn't, she doesn't. But I'm not finna get out here, go easy on her and mess around and wind up getting embarrassed because I said, okay, I'm going to give her a tap like this. And she put her 190 pounds behind it and trucked me. Then what? But you can't do it. Women should not be participating in certain men's sports because they aren't the majority of them aren't physically or mentally prepared of how to.
I remember in high school, man, this is nothing against women, but it's so, and I say use this as a dating technique because a lot of men don't, and a lot of men try to, just allow you to see it because I think once you get past the age of 9 and 10, boys really just start stretching it out a little bit. But in high school, like I think in high school, we had those pep rallies or those be out days or whatever, the case. And they'll let the girls basketball team. Shout out to any female that played, rest in peace, Ginger. I knew some girls, man, Kenya Sharon, ballers, Diana, do that thing. But they'll have like the girls team, on those days, they play me. Like regular dudes in the stands who don't play organized. Like they ain't playing the boys basketball team. The girls team, because it's almost comedic and funny. They play regular guys. And I'm not even talking about basketball gym rats. I'm talking about we about to get regular. I'm not talking about that dude that didn't make the team.
Go get Poindexter in the glasses. He about 5'6", 110 pounds. Go get him.
Because that's the only way to balance and make their skill set look way beyond, and it looked good.
Yeah.
The thing about doing that is they beat the guys. See, we got to draw the line on hyperbolizing that, and I'm not saying that the guys are dorks, because let me tell you, they did that. They did that one time, and they had them playing the teachers. And of course, 16, 17-year-old girls playing 30, 40-year-old, 50-year-old teachers, it might be a balance. I had 2 of them out there that was some old high school.
Yeah, their muscle memory when
muscle memory and competitive spirit. Oh, I'm not about to just let you. Like the old high school basketball coach, he gonna sit down in that corner and shoot them jumpers.
Yeah, he can still stroke it
on the boys.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot what coach that was. He was out there like, hey, play with me if you want to.
Yeah, but you can't have. It's just not. It's not. Yeah, it's not right physically or mentally to have trans women playing against women.
And morally,
because,
I'm gonna say this too. Morally, let me tell you, and this is me taking up for women who want to play women's sports and be women. You do not want, because there's a competition out here, and sports generate revenue. You do not want them to let the trans women get in, because that trans woman is gonna take a scholarship from a girl who deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
She gonna take an NIL, some NIL money from a actual natural female caliber athlete who deserves it. Because if you let them play, of course the coaches and the boosters gonna be like, "Hey, we got to get up one of them."
Hey, let them play. Hey, she can put up 40 a night, or she can put it in.
So that's where that's the slippery slope that you're falling into when you do that. So you got to be very careful.
Just one more.
Women, man, like find a league or something, because it's not.
Yeah, do something, because it's not. Think about it. Now, she's an exception. Layla Ali. The average woman or the average dude gets in the ring that's her size and is boxing somebody. You don't. Bottom line is, you don't want a guy who's been training in the comeback sport to have. And he's got the muscle and this, that, and other, who's been doing it for a while, and then decides he's going to transition to get in there against a woman who's been training in it. And because he's going to have, she, it, or whatever you want to call it, is going to still have that muscle mass and still have that strength and that technique and all of that, and it's going to whoop somebody. And once you see a natural born woman get her face broke like Jake Paul did,
right,
there's gonna be an uproar.
There's gonna be a problem. Like, they gotta understand, like, as good as Serena and Venus was, they probably beaten the 200th ranked man in the ATP. Somewhat way down there like that. As good as they were, he got to be. So nothing against him, and I ain't mean, I don't want to come out like that. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, there's a difference.
That man, you don't want the 200, and what it is you don't want the 200 ranked man who says, I want to be more successful, because my 200 as a man is number 5 and 1 as a woman to be playing with women. That's what you're saying.
Because that's what generally is what's happening for when we do have those. You see that dude wasn't doing anything, and now since he's trans, all of a sudden he's excelling.
Right.
And it's not right.
I will say this, though, before we move on. That'd be a heck of a shoe line. Now, as we move into the second hour, I want to make sure you follow and subscribe on YouTube at NoJASSShow. Make sure you follow us at the NoJASSShow on Instagram. We are live currently on my page, DUPONTNIVEKZ, and on Tank's page at Russell Tanker, 2 S's, 2 L's, and on our own page, on our Facebook page at NoJASSShow, The Locker Room, Enter Huge Electronics Store. We're there. So Twitch and TikTok. So just make sure you look at all of that and follow us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share, and make sure you hit us up at NoJASSShow at gmail.com for all of your comments and anything that we may need to talk about, especially the trans community that might have found anything that we said offensive. Please just leave it in the email, and hopefully you didn't, because I don't think we said anything offensive. Now, moving along, before I go to we got 8 jobs open now, head coaching for the NFL. 9 now. Pittsburgh made 9. Who's hot? Who's not? What are the hottest jobs? And who looks like they're gonna get them?
I think Harbaugh is gonna get one.
Where they going?
That I'm not sure, but I think he's gonna go somewhere that's got a front, that's got what they feel is a franchise quarterback. somebody who's got a defense that can be worked with. So, the Giants might be somebody he might be interested in. What would be ironic and funny would be if Tomlin were to decide, hey, I'm gonna go to Baltimore and Harbaugh came to Pittsburgh. That would be something. But I think the Dolphins' job could be appealing
To Harbaugh.
for to Harbaugh and to quite a few, because they do have some pieces. You're gonna have an opportunity to get a quarterback. You got they got some pieces, but things they need to gel. I think they could have been better this year. You got to do something with Tua. You got to get him right or get him out of there. But I think I think there need to be a culture change, and I think the most of Atlanta might want to have a talk with. But the only thing working against Harbaugh is I believe he's 63. So you don't want to say it's age discrimination, but you say, okay, he's 63. And let's say if it's a 3-year, if we're saying we need him, we should be in contention in 3 years. At 66, is he going to still have enough juice to go till he hits maybe 70? And is it going to end, or do you think, do you feel as though it's going to end it's going to get you a ring before he decides to hang it up, or you decide to hang it up?
Was John Harbaugh a coordinator?
He was a special teams guy, special teams coordinator.
Special team coordinator, then jumped into head coach. Question: do you feel like there are any head coaches that might say, okay, I don't really want to take the time off, but I want to go back to what got me here, get my juices flowing again, and they're willing to go be a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator?
No, I don't think anybody wants to voluntarily take a step down and become a coordinator.
Okay.
I mean, if they can't get a job, they'll take it. I don't think they want to. I mean, especially some of the ones that are available now. Where Tomlin, Harbaugh, and there's one more. Would you really want to say, okay, I'm willing to be a coordinator? No, just like two who've done it because they really didn't do well as head coaches. Josh McDaniel, he's one of those guys who, hey, you are better as an offensive coordinator. You're not a head coach, and you don't need to interview for any of those positions.
And Romeo do it? Romeo, was he ever a head coach?
Yeah, he was a head coach in Houston, and they got him up out of there because he didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I would like to see some young up-and-coming coordinators, be they offensive or defensive coordinators, get these jobs. And maybe a quarterback coach who has done an excellent job in developing the quarterback. Those are the three positions, the three types of guys I would like to see get the majority of these jobs. Because, but it's funny. People always talk about retreads, but nobody has mentioned or used the word retread with Harbaugh at all, because of the type of success he's had. Generally, Harbaugh's 63, and if he would just been fired, you would hear people saying, why you want to get a retread? Why don't we get some young blood in here?
Right.
Now, LaFleur, if he isn't brought back, he will be a hot commodity also. So
LaFleur that with Green Bay?
Yeah. Because he's got 1 year left on his contract.
Right.
And he might not want to be a lame duck coach if they don't go ahead and extend him.
Go ahead and extend it.
Yeah.
Or they might be in a position with all of these positions.
Who's out there now? Yeah.
You
be
have
like, shoot, I'd rather have him than you anyway.
Because I'm looking at how they're looking at Shoddy. And this is not me saying Shoddy is a good or bad coach. It's just like me saying, hey, somebody might have seen what Shoddy could be, even though I think he's locked in, and say, if you don't have this hovering over your head, or we'll get you a first-round quarterback, see what's going on. So, with all of these nuances, I would like to see, I'm going to say a name. It's enough out there. And I don't know how old he is, but he might be a great place to start for Pittsburgh or Miami. He's just been sitting there. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm going to say Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, he's in Colorado. He's in Colorado.
With Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious as to maybe he doesn't interview well, because I mean, I've never heard anybody say anything about. I've never heard anything negative about his football mind.
Right. I haven't heard that. And so, you got to give these guys their opportunities. I'm pretty sure some people, but it's going to be because not 9 teams. 9 teams is a number that
That's a lot.
that's
That's a third. That's basically almost a
that's
third
basically
of the
a third of the
NFL
NFL.
for a coach.
And that trends. If you get 9 and then those 9 do well, you can have 9 going next year.
Yeah.
Well, let me get me one. So we gotta definitely pay a close attention because 9 is a movement.
That's a lot. Yeah.
9 could see a lot of quarterback changes because a lot of people are saying Aaron Rodgers won't stay in Pittsburgh
Yeah, I don't think it.
without.
I don't think he would stay there unless you got somebody who was an offensive whiz.
Arthur Smith stay.
I hope not. Look, God, I know there's been some whispers about him getting some head coaching interviews. I mean, good riddance. I mean, he's got 2 years left on his deal. They can fire him yesterday, and because Terrell Austin, he's gone. He won't be a defensive coordinator again.
Right.
He's his contract is up as of last night after losing. So he's gone. So Pittsburgh needs a head coach, an offensive coordinator, in my opinion, and a defensive coordinator. So that coaching staff is up for hire. But I think that we're going to see there's going to be somebody who's a surprise hire by somebody. It might be Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh previous 2 hires were surprise hires.
Let me tell you something. They got rid of Patullo and
Yeah.
Philly. And see, if Patullo interviews well, he can look at some 9 teams is like some serious. You might have just been in a bad position, sir.
Yeah.
You got friction going on over there with Hurts and Brown and all of that.
And Sirianni.
Yeah, and Sirianni. You might have just been collateral damage and never could get it together. But I think you got some.
Yeah, because we saw what happened at the times of the season when the offense was clicking.
Right.
So yeah.
So there's a possibility because trust me, if they would have had their success this year, he would have been gone anyway. And I'm not talking about fired. They plucked him.
Somebody would have hired him. Yeah.
Somebody would have hired him because that's what happens, and that's how you end up missing out on things.
I think Robert Saleh is. I think Robert Saleh is going to get interviewed and possibly wind up.
Saleh going to come back, right?
And it might be Miami.
It
might be Miami, or if not Miami, Atlanta.
If not Miami, Atlanta. All right. And again, make sure you follow and subscribe on YouTube at NoJASSShow as we go in and we get into this next segment. Go ahead.
Quick, which job do you think is the most attractive and why?
2.
2?
Yeah.
What 2? Okay. What are they?
Vegas and Miami. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Not just the cities, not just the storied franchises, but they both are in divisions that you could actually win now that the Chiefs are rebuilding. Chargers, I think that was a fraud, but they could come on up. I think Herbert might not be what you think it is, but and I'm saying AFC West.
Yeah.
But that's Kansas City,
Denver.
It could be just this year for them. It could be just this year. Now, moving on to AFC East. Jets gonna jet. Take them out of there. Then you have Buffalo. I think if they get it this year, they've fulfilled like they've traveled and it's taken them too long to be a dynasty. You see how fast New England got in it, and now they're back in it. We don't know if they're real, but look how fast. Miami is a good job to go in there, get their head right, steal the show. Something I'm gonna get on to. As a team, you might be able to get them to rally around the city because you don't want the college team in Coral Gables to be the biggest team in the city anymore. And that can motivate.
If they win the whole thing, they will be.
Exactly. And we're gonna get into that. But I think the Dolphins is a good. Okay, I can get in here hide under the radar and be a pressure job because I know we don't talk about this much, but there are talks that John Morant gonna end up on the Heat. So if you got John Morant getting traded to the Heat, all things go well, and we're gonna talk about that. gets the national championship, a coach could go under the radar. Oh, the city happy. They're not worrying about us. Team, come on here and just focus. You're not anybody in the club again. You want to be that? Let's go get that back. And you can chill in those cities. It's a gift and a curse. But they're not cities that good free agents are against. They might be
the tax
franchises.
Tax breaks are also something that would be considered because there's no state income tax in either one.
Exactly. So those two are my, the rest of them happy to come.
Because I think Atlanta, like we talked about last show, Arthur Blank is counting, saying maybe I got 3 summers left. I need you to get here, and I think this team is good enough to win now. I need you you need to win now. In 2 years, you might be out of here because we should already got some. So yeah, I think that pressure is there if you come to Atlanta. But
and everybody know Arthur Blank and the fans of Atlanta want Kirby Smart for some weird reason.
I don't think he's a NFL coach.
Exactly.
He's not. He's a recruiter. He's winning by recruiting. I mean, that's the name of the game.
Right.
But for me, and this isn't because I'm biased or anything, I think Pittsburgh is the most appealing job, not because of the talent that's there, but because of ownership. Ownership, hey, we know what we are, we know what we have here, we know it's going to take time, and we're going to give you time. If you start off with 2 or 3 losing seasons, hey, we know we're building something. We're not gonna press you about it. We believe and trust in the process. Year 4, you're gonna probably make the playoffs. Year 5, you're gonna do it again. We're gonna work with you. We aren't asking for a quick fix. The fans want a quick fix, but we don't listen to the outside noise. We're gonna get you what you need. Tell us your plan, how you want to build this team, and we're going to do everything we can to accommodate you and give you time. And hey, 56 years, we've had 3 coaches. The only reason you're here is because we were going into year 57 with Tomlin. And he's on a 2-year deal. He had 2 years left. So we were going into 57 and 58 with him. So you're going to have time. We got a whole lot of draft picks this year. We got a whole bunch. We can trade up. We can do a lot of draft capital. We got a lot of cap room. Hey, you can build and mold this thing in your image the way you want it done. Hey, you don't have to worry about any outside interference from ownership telling you, hey, the only time you see a Rooney is when somebody interviews him because he's at the owners meeting. Rooney doesn't do press conferences. Hey, well, I know we need to do this. I know you don't even hear from Rooney. There's some folks who don't even know what Rooney looks like because he's in the background just watching. Hey, end of the season, come in, let's talk about, hey, what we need to do to get better. What do you need? What do you need from me? Okay, let's do it. I think that is a perfect situation, particularly for a young coach who's getting his first shot. I think it's a perfect situation. I can't think of a better place for a young coach to come in and know that, okay, I have some security in here. I got some security and I don't have to worry about, man, it might do me like Atlanta did Raheem and get me out there in 2 years. Or they might do me like they did Pete Carroll out in Vegas and get rid of me after a year. So I think that.
Who's the owner now, Art or Dan?
Dan.
No,
Art.
Yeah, Dan was, Art, the owner. How long has Art been up?
When did Dan die? I mean, when did Art die? Dan. I think Dan died 4 years ago, I think.
So Art's been a sole owner 4 years.
Yeah, and then the kids, they have, but it's still Rooney Ron. Yeah.
All right. So who was the dad?
The dad was Art Rooney Sr., the chief. He died in 1983.
Then when he died, Dan took it. Then Dan passed away, and the other brother, younger brother, Art Jr. Has it. So everything you said might not be true. Like what I'm saying is, like,
I don't think for Dan, because he's seen how the process works. They've done it. I don't think
It's always a brother that'll sell the mama house.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm saying?
Them
Like, he might not
awkward.
be that dude. He might. Like, I'm
I
saying, like, it.
I think
Every
he is
reason.
because
Is he?
he's been
Are
because
they?
he's
Are they
been
the same
he was
age?
patient with him. He's up there. Dan is in his. That's why I keep saying Dan. Art is in his 80s, I think. I don't think that he's
Why didn't his
Art
daddy? Why didn't his daddy drop it to him first?
because Dan was older.
You think that's really what it was?
Yeah, Dan was a good deal older than Art.
I don't know, boy. Jock didn't just give JR the business. He thought about Bobby a little bit. I'm just saying.
No, but I think because on his deathbed, he was, well, this is a different story, but on his deathbed, the rumor is, the word on the street is he said, he should have drafted Marino.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it was, he went to the older brother ran it, and the brother, and Dan, damn, I keep getting, and Dan was right underneath him doing all this other stuff and doing the working and learning the business. And then, so yeah, I think it's a perfect landing spot for a young up and coming coach.
I'm just
Because
wondering.
you don't have the pressure
Mike
of we
started
don't
hitting the
win
writing on the
tomorrow.
wall 4 years ago. That's all I'm saying. Now, moving right along, you said as far as you mentioned recruiting. We talked about recruiting, and then we're gonna get into this situation with the NI and these kids and their eligibility. Let me tell you something about this. COVID does not need to happen again, because COVID is what gave these kids like a year and a half.
Damn, 2 years.
Almost 2. And these guys are taking full advantage of it. A lot of them didn't get their paperwork in on time, and they would have gotten that year. And that's the only reason they didn't get that year. But my thing is, NIL is definitely making it more appealing if you have the eligibility to go ahead and stay. Oh, where do you see? Well, does it get back to the regular, or do you see red shirt freshmen saying, "I'm just gonna stay 5 regardless"? If the money, if they get to the 5th year and they become world class by their 5th year, and they can move to another school and gain more money.
Yeah, I think that's something they do, that put in that portal and go as a grad student. I think the NIL and the portal go hand in hand. You got to put clamps and restraints on both of them. Otherwise it's completely out of hand, because Carson Beck transferred to Miami because he could get $6 million to be in his 6th year.
Right.
However, Stroud, it was 2 other quarterbacks. They were all came out, graduate the same year. Yeah. They're in their 3rd year in the NFL, and this boy is in his 6th year college. Now, in the real world, if your child is in their 6th year of college and they ain't graduate, you're like, what are you on the 6th year plan to graduate? Because you should have been finished in 4. We get you a 5th year if you slacked off or sorry. But 6 years and you were in there constantly. This isn't a kid. This isn't a guy
8 hours or something.
Yeah, right. This isn't a guy who was taking time off and coming and going and dropping classes and all of this. That's why he's 6 years. He's 6 years because somebody said, "Hey, we give you $6.5 million to come down here for a year to play." I mean, I think NIL money, it can help keep kids in college, but when you mix it with the portal, you got guys you got a guy who's in his 9th year. You got other guys who are going for their 7th year. Shamlis, Ole Miss quarterback, was trying to get a 6th year, but it's been denied. So now he's trying to appeal it. Yeah. I mean,
and look, he's trying to appeal it.
Yeah. I don't want to go. I want to stay. I want to stay in school. And I can understand him because he did 3 years at the JUCO, at a Division II school. Now he got his taste of Power 5, and he did well. So he wants to come back and try to improve his draft stock. I
Because
understand.
he's 22, 23, right?
23, yeah.
Be 24 by the time they play?
Yeah.
The last person played like that was Chris Winkie, and that was because of
He was baseball.
baseball.
Yeah, he was 28.
Like, come on now.
I think there needs to be, hey, you got 5 years. I mean, if you get more than 5 years, it's because you had some medical red shirts. You blew your knee out 2 years in a row, so we'll give you an extra year. But after that, you got to go. 5 years should be the max, and that 5th year should be because you're doing like Russell Wilson and transferring to Wisconsin to play as a grad student. But these kids,
Right.
they're not even going to grad student. They just saying, man, before the damn champion, before the game, they're saying, hey, I want to enter the portal. They need to put a time on when you can declare for the portal as well. Because you mess up recruiting these high school kids. Now the high school kids
Get
are
pushed back.
competing.
Especially
They really
quarterback.
competing. Yeah, they
Especially the
competing
quarterback.
against the portal. Yeah. Okay, it's my senior year. I got these offers. I've been waiting. This is what I've been waiting all my life. Wait, what you mean? So these 3 quarterbacks are entering the portal, and 2 of them are considering where I'm going because they want to play their 8th and 9th year. They gotta figure out a way to cap NIL money and cap this portal and do something, put a hard cap on eligibility. Because it's ridiculous. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. You got to go. You got to get out of the real world. I don't want to. They're going to give me $5 million. And because you're not getting drafted.
But earning money is not a real world.
Not when you go from making $5 million this year and now you get out into a free economy and they say, hey, we give you $100,000.
Well, that's gonna come down to because when you get NIL money, do they take scholarships from you?
They don't take scholarship from you. That's extra. That's money that's given to you. But what they need to do, if you put this into effect, the least y'all can do is call it no jazz clause.
If you look at our show, we got a few no jazz clauses. But go ahead, Tank.
I'll decide I want to transfer. Okay, you want to transfer? Let's do it. We do it 1 of 2 ways. Do it like you used to. You can transfer wherever, but you got to sit out a year. Or transfer, you got to go down to a smaller conference school. Or you transfer, you don't get, or you go into the portal, you leave, but you're not on scholarship for that year that you get there. You got to earn a scholarship. You got to pay your way through college that year and try to earn a scholarship. And that NIL money that you took from the other school needs to be returned. Because if it was NIL money based on you being here,
right?
Yeah, because I think that would stop a lot of that jumping around. Because man, I signed this contract because you signed the contract not just to play ball there. We know the scholarship is a year by year thing, so you're only there for a year. But your NIL contract, is that for 1 year or is that for multiple years? If it's for multiple years, you need to pay back what you did. Yeah. And you need to have to, wherever you transfer to, because a lot of these kids, they don't tell you, a lot of these kids are transferring to these schools. They don't have offers. They jump in the portal. They don't have offers. They just want to leave because they think they're going to go somewhere and get some money. And we don't hear about the ones who do that and don't get a scholarship, don't get NIL, and now they're the smaller division school, or because nobody wants them. They got to do something, man, because it's like the Wild Wild West. And before we had NIL money, back in the day, you paying players under the table. Man, this a whole lot worse because they just throwing money every damn way to the kids. And these kids not even living up to it, but they still pocketing the money. And then they jumping from school to school. I can't remember his name now. He was at Georgia State this year. He's going to his 6th or 7th school in 5 years, the quarterback. Maybe you just not that good. Maybe that's what it is, that you got to keep jumping around from school to school. They got to do something.
Better competition to win, because it's turning into a strategy. Now, I'm going to say this. 4 years removed from high school, whether you got injured, COVID, whatever the case may be. Yeah, you might have 2 years of eligibility on the field or 3. But 4 years removed from high school, and you say
you need to be getting your degree.
You're 4 years removed from high school, and you think you got 2 more years of eligibility for whatever reason, injury or whatever. I don't want to take that away from you. But if you're 4 years removed from high school, you're automatically put into a situation of, it could be arbitrary or hearing, which it mostly is to see if you have the eligibility, or you get the NFL involved and the NFL does something like baseball does. We take you through a supplementary type draft, meaning
they got rid of it. They got rid of that,
and they need to bring it back for this.
Yeah,
because okay, if you get drafted by us, we can get the rights to you,
mm-hmm.
but the rights are going to be like AAA ball. You can still stay and
Okay.
play. You can still stay and play in college, right? If you
Mhm.
get drafted by us and you sign with us, we have the rights to you. You go play. Yes, we're taking a risk. You're going to get hurt in college, but we're taking a risk looking at you anyway. We
Mhm.
will pay you, but if we need you within the season,
You coming on up.
you come on up. Can't go back if you come up. We call you up, can't go back. It ain't like baseball in that degree. You can't go from AAA to the majors, and usually it don't happen unless you're injured. Can't go
Yeah.
back. So if we lose our starting quarterback and we down to 2 on the roster and we need 3, and you know you ain't gonna play, and you looking at a national championship, guess what, buddy?
You coming up.
You're coming up.
And that's the end of your college
And that's the
eligibility.
end. That's the end of your
Ain't no,
college.
I'm
And
coming
what
back. Yeah.
what that does is that releases money for me. That releases money for the pure high school guy, whatever position you all want to put that on. That releases money for the pure high school guy and a scholarship for the pure high school guy, because you're gonna say, oh, you know what? I'm taking a risk that he might be going game 3. He might be looking so good. He might be
Yeah.
going game 3. Let me get my high school kid up here to get him fresh and prepared.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And that kid, that one who's in the supplemental draft, that team that has his rights pays for his
oh yeah, just like
his tuition and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
no longer
Paid
an
that.
amateur in that.
So it's not,
Right.
so it doesn't cost the college
It
nothing.
don't cost the
That-
college nothing. Your portal, you still can play that last year because that's a farm lead to us now.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm probably if I'm doing something like that and I got your rights, I am more than likely getting the kid that's, oh, they run a 4-3. He does this, or they run this type of offense. He gonna already be ready. So
Yeah.
they're not going to just get anybody.
Yeah. They can get somebody who specifically fits what
Specifically
they
fit
want to do.
what we want to do. The only time that they probably wouldn't fit is if we change coaches. And
Mhm.
you're probably farming coaches too, to a degree. So I'm thinking it needs to be something that, because, and I'm segueing into this right here, the strategy of these 23-year-olds, average teams, is it goes a little beyond what we said as far as national championships are concerned. When we
Mhm.
said you're gonna field the team that has seniors, we were talking about, okay, these guys have played 4 years. They came in
Right.
spring at 17, turned 18 their first semester or whatever, and then they're 21, 22 mature players. That's what we were talking
Mhm.
about. We're not talking about an average team of the average is 23. So guess what? If your average is 23, you got some 22-year-olds and some 25 years old on your team who came in as 3 stars and to develop into 5-star by the time you 24, 25. Of course. You're supposed to be pushing around grown men now. So 4
Right.
years removed from college. Go ahead.
Yeah. You mean from high school?
From
Yeah.
high school, excuse me. From high school. You have to
Yeah.
declare. You have to declare for the supplemental draft. And now there has to be something, if you don't get picked, I guess you just continue to do what you're doing. I don't know.
And if you're already getting NIL money, you might have to use that to pay for your tuition. I don't know, but because every and most of these players, they're not getting millions and millions of dollars. We just hear about the ones that get the
We're
millions
hearing
and
about the one
millions
getting millions.
because
Exactly.
yeah, you know, you got another guy, man. They give me $40,000 a year for NIL, which for a college student, because everything else is already taken care of, that's not bad either.
Oh, that
You know?
hey, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah,
the 40,000 dude, I mean, honest, the 40,000 dude, he gonna be the same way any rookie would be who
hmm
signed for who's a first round, second round guy, and the guy making the league minimum. You gonna go get the high price apartment and try to impress them girl, and the girl gonna be like, oh, he making $5 million. How much you making? You're not gonna tell her league minimum. You're not gonna tell her 40,000. You're not.
yeah.
They're gonna do the
And
same thing.
and you know that's what's going on. That's
You
the
know that
same
what's
thing that
going on.
happens when they get, like you said, they get to the NFL. They're trying to run with the big dogs, and they can't afford it. I know a guy. I ain't talked to him in years. He used to play for the Falcons. I ain't gonna say his name. He used to play for the Falcons. He was there when Dion was there, so they were teammates. And he said that his problem with his money, because Dion would go and do this stuff. Dion was making It's a lot of money back then. He was making $1 million a year. This guy was making like 100.
You need to say that.
Yeah, 100,000 a year. Yeah, 100,000 a year. And he said his problem was he would try to live and try to do the thing to keep up with Dion and Rising and other guys that were making money. He said he would be in the hole every year because, they only got paid 16
You
times
gonna get
a year.
paid 16 weeks?
Going to management in the off season, hey,
Ask
can I
for
get
a
a
loan.
loan on my salary? Because I don't, you start getting paid again in June when training camp starts. It's January because, they want to go into the Super. They want to go into the playoffs. It's January. I don't have no money at all until camp starts. So, okay, we give you some more money. And, we give you an advance. We give you a paycheck advance because you got to pay it back.
Gotta pay it back.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. That $40,000 kid most of them gonna do the same thing.
$5 kid saying, "Oh, this is my NIL money, man." You know what? Shout out to the kid that don't do that, but because I'm not gonna say this not, but come on, man, y'all know what's going on now. And I touched on it because we do have a team of average 23-year-olds on Monday night going up against, and I don't necessarily say they're normal because they strategizing that too. You got a 6-year quarterback. I think that's about to be the norm. I'm gonna get be just a veteran quarterback to carry me to the championship. Mendoza 22, Beck 24?
24, yeah.
But this is the national championship game coming up. By the time you see us again, that game will have been played. And we're going to be discussing that game, so we can't give our predictions after that. I'm going to be gone for a week too, unless I do this like mobile or something. But nevertheless, what do you think about that game coming up, man? Or you want to talk about,
I think
or do you want to discuss the games that led to that game to make them feel like, you can put that in there too if you want to, because that was a blowout.
I mean, it was a blowout. I mean, it really ain't much to discuss. We saw two teams that were much better prepared and much better at executing their game plan than whatever the other team. Because Oregon looked like they didn't know what was going on
They never
at
do
all.
in Atlanta.
And I said Power is gonna win the game, and that's exactly they steamrolled. And Miami, you said you were gonna wait to see if they won before you would before you would say, okay, yeah. But I said they were looking like old Canes, and they did. I think it's gonna be a good game. Indiana plays with power, and Parcells' old adage was power wins football games. They're older, and that's what everybody's going to keep talking about. They're older, and they do run teams over. But you know what? It's not like Miami is a finesse team
either.
Okay, so we're looking at two power punchers who can also box if they have to.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, both of them want to smack you in the mouth, and whoever blinks first got you. But and I don't know. I just think Indiana's a team of destiny. I kind of get the feeling, even though I think they are a better team than that one, is when Miami played Penn State for the championship. But I think that this team, the Indiana, is better all around than that Penn State team is. They're cerebral, but they're talented. They're actually talented everywhere as well. I think it's going to come down to coaching. And Signetti has done a heck of a job. But Cristobal has done a heck of a job. And he has infused into this team that Miami swagger of the 80s. They got somebody whose bloodline is, hey, I did this for this school. I'm not just here as a coach who they found and brought in. I know what it takes for this team, for this university to win. And because I can actually see them doing all of the stuff that Miami used to do if they were so inclined. But I'm expecting a 3 or 4 point game, and I'm going for the win. I don't think anybody's going to run away with it. I think somebody might jump up early and look like it's going to be a blowout, but both of these teams are good enough physically, skill-wise, and mentally to withstand that and to fight their way back in. I don't think either team will panic or be too big for the moment. I think they both feel as though they're a team of destiny. And I'm sorry if what is this name? I can't Mendoza. If he gives a speech to these guys before kickoff, and then gives a follow up at halftime, and it's gonna be tough sledding for Miami because he's such an eloquent speaker and sincere with it. I think he's gonna get those guys motivated. I do think that those guys want to prove. I think they like him so much or love him so much because he's one of those transfer portal guys who just got there.
Right.
No, yeah, and they want to. I think they want to win one for him, and I think that he wants to win one for them. I think the team wants to win one for Mendoza and for Signetti, and Mendoza wants to win one for Signetti and his team. It's been how many years? It been 20 something years since they won one.
2001, 24, 25.
Yeah. I think they feel as though it's their time, and if the playmaker is there, he's gonna
tell you something, man. No, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, he's gonna give him a talk, and Ray is gonna give him one. Ain't nobody gonna know what the hell Ray talking about, but he gonna give him something to get him fired up. So I expect fireworks. I expect a whole lot of hard hitting, and it's gonna be last man standing with probably winning by a field goal.
I love
that should be the best one we've had in years.
I love the mystique because the young man that caught the pick six against Oregon, he from Hollywood. I think they got like 4 of them coming home.
Yeah, Mendoza's coming home.
And then, of course, it's hard to root against your own kid. But it's the you. You know what I mean? It's the you. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem. I mean, it might be some bumps, but I don't see a problem. Here's why I don't see a problem. This situation, this atmosphere is going to be like a soccer game in Colombia. Cuba, one of them third world countries where, you can't go home with a loss. Family end up missing with a loss. You know what I mean? It's like it's serious. Mendoza and the other little young man, oh man, y'all played a great game, man. They come home. But them kids in that U uniform, losing at home, not in your backyard. Not in your backyard. And I'm going to say this too. I said this the other day, and I meant what I said because I knew this historically. And I noticed you brought up Penn State. You stayed away from that other one, though.
Which one?
That Orange Bowl in 1988. The last time, I know it was the last time Miami hosted a national championship game in the Orange Bowl, but it might have been the last time that the home team has hosted a national championship game on their home field. And you know who walked in there? An undefeated team. You know who else walked in there? An undefeated team with a very stoic and strong and football-minded and came from a football program that was just in the it came from a football program. Matter of fact, both coaches, to be totally honest with you, both coaches came from a football program that was just in the national championship 2 years before, and that's Arkansas. People thought Barry Switzer was, what my boy name is, Indiana?
Oh, Signetti.
People thought Barry Switzer was the Signetti of the 80s. Definitely 87 to 88. And I said this last time we talked. They came in there wearing that burgundy or maroon, or whatever you want to call it. Shining, unfavored to win. Miami had won in 83 and was still considered an upstart. Get what happened?
I think we just lost a viewer. Dante Jones, who we had on before, who played at Oklahoma and played in that game. And to this day, he can't stay in Miami. Dante, this wasn't me. He brought this up. It wasn't me.
Dante, you played in that game? Dante, if you there, I want you to tell Tank how much confidence y'all came in there undefeated doing down there in Miami. It was 20-14. Don't get me right.
Yeah.
You all played a great game, but something happened that night, and you know what happened, right, Dante? That whole I remember people. Like I said, I remember people like Barry Switzer ain't gonna let like Barry Switzer had gone the whole season with that same type of persona that Signetti be doing. I've seen this before, but all I'm saying is that atmosphere down there, man.
It's gonna be electric. It's gonna be something.
People are not playing around, man. We got to bring this home. I'm not like the only thing. See, this could work. This could work either way. Them kids either gonna be energized and electrified by all them youth players
Mhm.
and Hall of Famers on that sideline that's gonna be down there, or they
It's gonna
gonna
truly be a home game.
or it's gonna shake them. I say line up. I say line up a few of them Hall of Famers from the U on Indiana side and ask them, hey, where y'all Hall of Famers at? Hey, this what we do here. And, you know, start talking that noise on their side of the ball instead of talking to our kid and swap it at halves. I'm serious, man. Like they don't, they're going to remind them kids that is not a real program over there. That is manufactured this year. They are trying to build something. What do they say? That man would have to go undefeated. He'd have to go undefeated for 4 more seasons or something crazy. 20 seasons and a half a season to get to 500 history.
Yeah. 'Cause they ain't won any games in their history. They ain't won.
Oh, and I love that graphic. I love the graphic on. They got one more box to check, and that's a national championship. But we snatch stuff like that.
I'm expecting it to be some real heavy hitting going on because, like I said, Indiana comes out with power, and like I said, it's not like Miami is a finesse team. So
It's not
we
like
looking at two
Miami is
brawlers.
team. And I would say advantage, 69 degrees, maybe a little humidity out there that night. That's what it's supposed to be. But I don't know. I'm boy from Miami too.
Yeah.
Can't just play that. But hey,
I'll tell you what's going to be interesting, regardless of how it turns out. I think Miami is going to be fine next season. You know, I'm just curious as to what Indiana is going to look like next season after some of these guys are gone.
And that's another thing too. Let's not forget, you cannot let Indiana walk out of there with a win because they're going to say, wait a minute, Jeremiah Smith, he in the Big Ten. He from down here. You mean to tell me I can get in the Big Ten to be with the Big Ten champion and the national champion, and I can go make a name because this coach is allowing us to and recruit?
Mhm.
Or you can go home and stay home where it's live. See,
Yeah.
you don't have time to play because that is definitely a recruiting war that Indiana's in, just based on what you said about what it could look like next year.
And Mendoza's brother, that we're going to see if he winds up starting next year, start as a starting quarterback. And we're going to see what he has.
Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be 35-14, but my reality is saying 35-14. You got to smack them, dog. I'm sorry, man. Y'all might think I'm disrespecting, man. It's not even that. You got to smack them. You got to smack people who it's you want a great 35-14 is like, okay, it was a good game and it burst open. Let's go. 35-14 Miami. Man, you got to smack them, man. You got to don't ever come down here anymore thinking that you can do it. Smack them. Don't drop any picks. Rattle him. That man stand in the pocket. You don't have to worry about him running. And I will say this. Oh, those receivers, they high point the ball. They 24. They look good though. I love them Indiana receivers look good doing what they do.
Yeah.
They look good doing what they do. And this ain't me.
I'm trying to think
I'm talking about the expectation.
I'm trying to think the last person with any kind of name that I can think of that came from Indiana.
Oh, the running back.
He got Aurelius Ben, the wide receiver. He didn't pan out. I think Tampa Bay drafted him. But as far as
I remember that. I remember him in that draft. But they had that Indiana had that running back that was up for the Heisman.
Anthony Thompson.
That's the last one, right?
Yeah, that was back in the
he probably the
late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
Like Indiana football gonna have to have, you know what? If I'm not, no, he was North Carolina State. Indiana will have to have some basketball players on the sideline, man.
Yeah, but it's gonna be packed, and it's gonna be a lot of Indiana Hoosiers in the stands too. A lot of fans.
That is. Hey man, let me tell you something. Them Indiana Hoosier fans are like, because there's a strong Chicago Bear base in Miami, in Florida, and they're Indiana fans too. Like all that's right there. So it's burgundy or maroon, whatever you want to call it, might be in there because there's gonna be a lot of orange and green. But I think them people stayed in Atlanta for the week and said we're gonna come on down. I'm serious. They just stay here for 10 days. We're gonna travel on down in a minute. But we gotta smack them, man.
We're gonna see. You predicting blowout? I'm predicting 3 to 4 point win for Indiana.
If it's a 3 to 4 point win, because I like great football and I don't want to go outside of that. And when I say blowout, that is not to disrespect Indiana and who they are. It's the expectation. Like I want to be celebrating the whole fourth quarter. You know, I don't want them referees to cheat them boys at the end of the game. Like I don't want them referees to be looking around like, wait a minute, I am in Miami and I need to make it to the car. I don't want them to take a call away from Indiana that they deserve because they're scared. I don't want that.
Right.
Smack them. Let's get this over with.
And let's not have, if it comes down to the last play, let's not have a flag that comes out 5 minutes later.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not put ourselves in a position to have a flag come out home cooking. They didn't want Miami to win or they didn't want Indiana to win, whatever. You don't catch all. Hey, them always coming to play. Both sides coming to play. But I just think, like I said, in 1988, sorry about this, Dante, that same burgundy or maroon and a Stoic coach came in there too. You came in there too. Hold on, matter of fact, yeah, it was 7, and then Oklahoma came second quarter and scored 7. Then Miami kind of blew it open with 10 in the third. Oklahoma scored 7, and Miami scored 3 in the fourth, 20-14. That's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for something like 14. Then Miami, take their foot off the gas, and then it end up being 14-10. Second quarter, it looked like it's doing something, and then third quarter, 14.
Open it up.
Yeah, 14. Bam. And then you just boom. Score another 7 and they get some old against our third string, get the other 14. They just like that. I'm serious, man. Hey, it got to happen, boy. Win that toss, score before this got to smack them. Got to smack them. And you know what? Indiana, for anybody watching, let me clarify one thing too. Because this is not me bragging. It's really not. It's more mystique here that I'm talking about. Indiana, you're just the one that we're going up against. But the truth of the matter is, you got to smack them. You got to smack them for them fans in Gainesville talking all that noise. You got to smack them for them crybabies over there in Orlando at UCF talking about, we should have got in. They should have let us in. You need to smack them. You need to smack them for that other team in Indiana. Notre Dame, South Bend. You need to smack them. You need to smack them for the team in South Bend who acting like they should have got in, and the coach acting like he don't know what to say to his team because you faced the team and you went head to head and you didn't get in, and you definitely got to smack them. You hold on, not definitely yet. You got to smack them. You got to smack them for that team in Alabama who swear they us and they're not us. You got to smack them. You got to smack them for that team in Athens, Georgia, who be trying to front like everybody against them. And we took your boy, and your boy took us home. I need him to coast. And you got to smack them. You got to smack them for your cousin. You got to smack them for your cousin out there in Oregon because they smack your little cousin, boy. They smack you good, boy. You don't let your cousin go out like that. They smack your cousin good. You got to smack them. And you definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, you got to smack them for them haters up there in Tallahassee. Because them jokers there are the worst. You got to smack them for FSU. Anybody from Gainesville to Tallahassee that's not rooting for Florida right now, smack them for them.
So you want to smack with a purpose.
It has nothing to do with you personally, Indiana. Nothing. Smack them with a purpose. Yes.
Should be a very entertaining game. And a good way to cap off, it'll be a good way to cap off Saturday and Sundays on NFL games.
Absolutely. Too, so. Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you something, boy. As we get ready to close, you have definitely been. We appreciate you joining us here, and make sure you follow and subscribe on YouTube at NoJASSShow, and we are on Instagram at the NoJASSShow. We are live right now on my page, DUPONTNIVEKZ, and Russell Tank's page. We're live on the Locker Room. We're also live on NoJASSShow page and Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, etc. Said all that. Now, I'm saying this. The NFL did a fine job this weekend, boy. Those games, with the exception of that Monday night game,
yeah,
they You can't compete with them competitive. I got to give them their props. Shout out to the NFL on that. Shout out to the NFL playing those games the way they played them. They did a very good job of those games.
We live.
We live?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah. I do have one thing, and then I would be out. I read
The
something.
last word.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I read something from Kurt Warner, and he said that he was excited about finally being able to vote on the All Pros, and that was great. But what I like about what he said was he realized he's not qualified to vote for the All Pros at all these positions. He's qualified to vote for the All Pros at quarterback, and he can do some at receiver. But he said he thinks that that what they need to start doing, voting for the all pro teams, is having former players who played a specific position be the ones who vote all pros at those positions because they know better than whoever else. Because your left guard should not be voting on who makes all pro at cornerback. He don't have nothing to do. They don't have anything to do with each other. He's not studying him. He's not doing anything. He's not looking. Oh man, he got good coverage on him. He's not doing it. So I think that's a practice that they should adopt, and that's also the practice that should be adopted when voting for the Hall of Fame. Former players and coaches, not media, should be the ones voting to put these players in. Some of these players should be I think they should be younger players or get guys who played against some of these guys that you're trying to vote for. Because these 20-something-year-olds or a guy these younger guys who just retired, you can't have them voting on somebody who played 40 years ago because they don't know. Because most of these kids, they don't even know anything about the history of the game. They just know a name. They talk about Dion all the time because now he's coaching, but he's always had himself out there in the media, and he's pushed the narrative that he was the best corner to ever play the game. They say Dion's the best corner to ever play the game. All you gotta do is ask him. So and so said he's the best, but I think players and former players and coaches need to be the ones voting on eligibility for the Hall of Fame, and former players that played their specific position should be voting on who makes all pro, not just a couple of guys voting for everybody because they don't study all that. They don't look at all of that. They look and pay attention to and know the position best of what they played, not something else. Because I don't think there's too many centers going to be able to tell you how good a safety is. Because if things go right, they never even meet each other on the field. Y'all need to revamp all pro voting, and Hall of Fame. You need to revamp voting for Hall of Fame inductees.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. I saw that myself, and that was not going to be my last word, but that was fantastic what Kurt Warner said, because I remember a quote, Warren Sapp, a few weeks ago. He said, Aaron Donald good. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I don't know who he went through. Meaning, I know I had to go through Tony Basile. You know what I'm saying? He started naming all the linemen. And he was like, I don't know the name of the dude Aaron Donald went through. Now, that's not to say Aaron Donald didn't have to go through some dudes. It's just saying that I went through gold jackets to get my gold jacket.
Right.
And so when you say that era gap, this is why Asante Samuel could assess Prime, and a lot of people think he wrong, but he's assessing Prime from the era in which he played and said, hold on now, let's not act like interceptions don't matter as a
right.
It's because you don't throw over there and he get interceptions and he run them back. Like we can't just what's the way to scale here? And I like his now I didn't agree with him because it's Prime. Don't get me right, but I definitely felt his argument. So when Kurt said what he said, I was like, yes, because quarterbacks should be assessing quarterbacks no more than quarterbacks and receivers. Receivers and cornerbacks should be assessing each other because you know who you had a hard time with. You know who gave you that business.
Right.
You know who gave you that business. And interior linemen, so another no jazz thing that y'all might need to adopt, and please give us our credit. Just like Tank said, if the sports writers are going to be the ones voting on it, let them vote on it up until the final round. If your vote if your vote gets you to the final 10 or whatever it is, I don't know. After that, you're out of there. It's pure vote.
Right.
Pure vote based on error.
Mhm.
Go find that guy, pluck him out of the Hall of Fame. You know, a lot of them might not be here anymore, but go pluck him. Hey, what did he do in comparison? Oh man, he was that. Hey, he should. It's a lot of people like he should be in there, and the argument is from their peers
Yeah, exactly.
who don't get the vote. I played against him. Oh yeah, y'all don't. I know I'm jumping sport. Y'all don't respect what Jordan did because he wasn't in front of you doing that mess. To me, that's like I probably don't respect what LeBron doing because I ain't a dude that big doing what he doing ain't in front of me doing it. So I might have a slight bias towards the dude that was doing it in front of me. I get all of that. That's why I love what Kurt Warner said because, you know, and I'm not taking away from the last word and talking about how I love what Kurt Warner said.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. I don't know. I know if I get hit,
somebody didn't block somebody.
Orlando Pace didn't do his job because I'm looking for Isaac Bruce. I'm looking for Torrey Holt. I know I'm up the field because I feel like on my left side I'm protected. But if I ain't never get hit, maybe I should have went after the game and asked the dude, what were you going through with Orlando Pace? Because, man, I felt very comfortable back here. Man, he was doing great. You know? And that's what he's saying. And I totally agree with that point. Great last word. Should have been a topic, but definitely a great last word. And since I elaborated on that so much, my last words for the night are just going to go like this. You got to smack them. This has been the No Jazz Show. Thank you for joining us. Please make sure you follow and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you follow, subscribe, like, share on Instagram, the No Jazz Show, on Twitch, No Jazz Show, on X, No Jazz Show. Email us all of your thoughts, everything that we did right or wrong, what we need to do. No Jazz Show, NoJASSSHOW @gmail.com. We also have follow us on Facebook at No Jazz Show, just like it's spelled NoJASSSHOW. It's been wonderful. Thank you all for coming out. The next time I see you,
he's gonna hope that he did the smacking and instead of he wants to be the smacker and not the smacky.
I sure hope I ain't smacking my lips in disgust. But it's been great. Tank, salute these people.
We'll holler.
You just watched another episode of No Jazz. Follow us on YouTube at No Jazz Show. And make sure you hit us up on Twitter at No Jazz Show. Make sure you hit us up on Instagram at NOJ.A.S.S. Follow us on Facebook, on our Facebook page at No Jazz Show. All right? See you soon.